All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rohakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace, blessings, salutations to the full elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with wholehearted sincerity. All right, and may the blessing of election be upon your houses. All right, the title and topic of this lesson is going to be, all right, the pride of these people have blinded them from the imminent destruction at hand. All right, the pride of these people have blinded them from the destruction that is very soon to come upon Babylon, America. All right, these Babylonians are very pumped up with their pride. They believe that they're unstoppable. They believe that they're untouchable. All right, they believe that, they are, the top of the food chain, man. But in reality, they're not. In reality, these other nations have the same destructive capability that they have, if not even more. All right, they got a saying that they say, they didn't stop making guns when they made yours. And Babylon believes that, they stopped making guns when they made theirs. All right, but these other nations, they have the resources, they have the funding, they have military capability, they have nukes, so all these things, man. But this place is so pumped up in its pride, so pumped up in its, the propaganda that they push up to the Babylonians, and they truly believe that they are unstoppable, man. Especially when there was talks of war with I believe it was Iran. When that whole thing was going on with Israel and Palestine, or Israel and Iran, if I'm not mistaken, there was whole talks to that. They were doing whole presentations talking about, yeah, we got this many aircraft, this many warships, and so forth. We're unstoppable, But that is the pride of this place, man. It's so pumped up, man. All right, these Babylonians are so pumped up. All right, but real quick, I want to play this clip. All right, it's just just the latter end of this clip here from one of Trump's press conferences. All right, and this was 3 weeks ago. This happened. And I'm gonna just play a little bit on it just so you can hear what he says towards the latter end of it.
Mission rule standard, because they were making the production of an automobile almost impossible, and at a tremendously higher cost, much more expensive than it should cost, for very little gain, for actually, in my opinion, negative gain. The automobile was worse. Under this administration, our innovation will be unmatched and our capabilities will be unrivaled. And with the help of many of the people in this room, America's ultimate triumph will be absolutely unstoppable. We will be unstoppable as a nation.
Right. And as you've seen, what he said at the latter end of that, he says they will be unstoppable as a nation, man. All right. This is what, the leader of Babylon, right? Trump, the president of Babylon, is saying to the masses, man. The masses believe this, man. Right? The Babylonians believe this, man. They're eating this up, man. They truly, genuinely believe that they are unstoppable, man. I want to grab this precept real quick. This is Psalms, the 49th chapter, verse 11, and it reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names," right? And that is, what goes on in the mindset of these Babylonians, man. They believe that their kingdom is going to continue on forever. They believe that every war that they have, they're going to completely dominate. They think that they're going to completely win. All right. They think that there'll be no, chance that they'll lose, right? They truly believe this, man. This is something that is constantly going to the mind of these people. That's why when you see people in Babylon, they are so at ease. They are so far gone and then, la la land in a fairy tale of a place, man, because they are drinking that illusion that Babylon is portraying and pushing off of, peace and security and power, when in reality, this place is very, very, very fragile, man. All right. The rulership of this place is very fragile. Now, at any moment, all right, at any moment, these other nations could really, jump the gun and really put them to the test, man. Put your money where your mouth is, man. All right. Babylon really be writing checks that they can't cash, man. Right. Their mouths be writing checks that they cannot cash. Okay, I want to show you this, man. This was matter of fact, it was this one, right? Just the beginning of this, real quick. And this is just to show you how pumped up this place is with pride, and also to show you part of the propaganda that Babylon pushes and promotes upon the masses. Okay, and let me play it here. Hey, man. Seeing this, you can't just help but to laugh at this, man. All right, this is at a NFL game, right? I believe it's Bengals playing, right? Yeah, that's their logo right there. All right, you have the Air Force flying over, which they do a lot of times at sporting events, major sporting events, or even college sporting events. They even do that. They do that show of force, in other terms, pump up the crowd. Yeah, this is America. And when you watch the clip, you see this main guy here, right here in black right here. He's red as hell. He's very red. And you see how pumped up they are, man. Right? This is how the average Babylonian feels when it comes down to their the Babylonian military, man. Right? They come through with some of their military fighter jets. They're pumped up, they're high-fiving. They're like, yeah, America, we can't get stopped. Nothing could stop us. That's what's going through their mind, man. Let's run it back again, man. I'm gonna turn the sound off. Just really look at how the people react, man. Right? They it's like a spirit get on them, man. The plane comes through, shoom. Look at that. They're cranking up. This guy's jumping in his seats. People shouting, clapping, high-fiving. They're turning up, man. Right? And you believe these people, all right? And you believe these people think that their rulership's going to come to an end, man? All right? You believe these people think that they're, not unstoppable, man? All right? The mind of these people believe that they are unstoppable, untouchable, man. And they are coming to a very rude awakening when all hell breaks loose in this place, man. When World War III pops off, all right? Because a lot of these nations are going to buddy up together to go toe-to-toe against Babylon, man. All right? It's about to be a full-blown full-blown anarchy in this place, man. And these people are going to come to a rude awakening, man. Same people that's jumping up, high-fiving, thinking that they're untouchable, unstoppable. They're going to be in a terrible case, man. They're at ease, man. They enjoying their football game, seeing the military coming through. Look at this, man. This is the pride of Babylon, man. The pride has truly blinded these Babylonians to really think that they cannot be touched, man. All right, I'm going to grab this. This is Proverbs 18:12. It reads, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. And these people are very prideful, man. All right, these people are very pumped up. All right, these Babylonians are very pumped up, full of themselves. Other term you could say airheads. They genuinely believe that they cannot be stopped. Okay, and it be things like this, right? Things like this when you see, the military force, the shows, and so forth. Just the illusion, man. What's beyond the smoke screen. You gotta look beyond the smoke screen, man. All right, and these people are just eating it up, man. All right, here it is. You have things like this, statements that's being made by Donald Trump at press conferences. All right, matter of fact, I'm gonna get this too. Right, this is a military ad. Right, this is from this was posted by the Department of Defense 2 months ago. All right, a military ad, right, and it has what? Doesn't even show it. Right, it got 500,000 views, 37,000 likes. All right, And this is really, you know, the propaganda. All right, let's play it.
No more distractions. No more electric tanks. No more gender confusion. No more climate change worship. We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. It's called peace through strength.
You look into the eyes of these young Americans who are giving up the best years of their life in a uniform to serve their nation. They are incredible.
Through our power and might, we will lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us, our enemies will fear us, and the whole world will admire the unrivaled greatness of the United States military. We will replenish the pride of our armed forces, end the recruitment crisis.
We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
God bless you. God bless our armed forces. God bless our men and women serving overseas. And God bless the United States of America.
All right. Hey, so what do you think goes through the mind of a Babylonian when they see, you know, an advertisement like this, man? Right? They're getting pumped up, man. You know, they're probably getting goosebumps on their body, you know, feeling chills down their spines, you know, really getting really puffed up, man. All right. And there's a lot of things that was said in this video, and I really kind of want to dissect it a little bit. You know, first, you know, I want to grab this, man. There was a clip in here. You know, it's 3 things I want to get. Right? It's a clip in here. Right? Here it is, right? Look at them. You think these niggas gonna protect you, man? You think these soldiers can go toe to toe with the soldiers in these other nations, man? Right? When you look at these other nations' military, man, right? First and foremost, they don't have women in there, man. Here it is. The Babylonian army has women. They have sodomites, right? They got effeminate men, all right, and so forth, man. And these people are so far gone and blinded with their pride to really believe that they are unstoppable, man. All right. And I want to search this up, you know, because it was mentioned in here. Let's see. It was around here too. Let's see if I can find it, man. It was a word that was used. Let me go back, maybe here.
Lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us, our enemies will fear us, and the whole world will admire the unrivaled greatness of the United States military.
Right, there you go. Right, he said the word unrivaled. Right, he said the unrivaled greatness. Right, let's search up what that word means, man. Let's lock here. Right, unrivaled. Ooh, here it is, man. Right, he said the unrivaled greatness of the army. Right, better than everyone. Right, it's from the Oxford Languages. For the word unrivaled, it says better than everyone or everything of the same type. All right, some of the synonyms: unequaled, unparalleled, matchless, unmatched, unbeaten, unexcelled, unsurpassed, incomparable. Right, supreme, perfect. Right, this is what, you know, these Babylonians truly believe, man. All right, they think that they're better than everyone, man. All right, but they're coming to a rude awakening because we already know this place is about to go down, man. All right, this place is about to go down. Okay, you know, let me grab this. Isaiah 2:11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Right, these Babylonians are really about to get humbled, man. Right, They're going to get humbled through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, man. All these prideful Babylonians think they're unstoppable, that think they're unrivaled compared to these other nations, they are about to get humbled through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, because their pride has pumped them up so much, man, for them to really believe that they cannot be touched. Okay? And one more thing I want to get, from this clip, before I continue on, it was towards the end. Let's see if I can find it. It was around here, I believe.
Because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. God bless you. God bless all the forces.
That's not it. One sec. Should have got it when it was going. Oh, right here. I believe this was it.
We will replenish the pride of our armed forces, end the recruitment crisis.
Right? He said we will replenish the pride of our armed forces and the recruitment process. Going to show you, right? The Babylonian military is down in numbers, man. All right, linking or hinting towards what? There's been a lot of talks about a draft, right? Because what they said in this, it said, replenishing the pride and also replenishing, the crisis of the recruitment process, man. Again, hey, that draft is around the corner, man. All right. It's inevitable, man, because one, they're struggling with numbers. All right, they're struggling with recruitments. All right, if you see they be having all these, again, why they be making propaganda style advertisements like that to try to bring in more recruits, man. Trying to show you what we have, showing off all their aircrafts, their guns, their tanks, their vehicles, their equipment, trying to really show it off, trying to bring in that recruitment, man. But eventually, hey, these Babylonians, right, they gonna have to go through that draft, and there's been already a lot of talk of a draft, man, right? And I believe what he said, it was like pushing the draft age back, or widening the gap of the draft age. All right. And every male that's in Babylon, once you turn the age of 18, you automatically get enrolled into the selective service, man. All right. I remember when I was in high school, the minute I turned 18, they made us, register to vote, automatically enlisted us into the selective service. Mind, this was a public school, man. Right? Majority of people go to public school. So, hey, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on throughout all these other public schools throughout Babylon, man. Again, right? This is what's being pushed out onto the Babylonians, man. From, showing you their soldiers that look weak as hell. All right? Talking about, they're unrivaled, unmatched. Talking about the recruitment crisis, fixing that. All right, all these things was packed into this, what, 1minute and 35-second video, man. There's a lot more things that was really, put in here, man. If I really sat down and went through everything, hey, this video be real long, man. But nevertheless, all in all, this really shows you the real pride of this place, man, and how they truly believe they're unstoppable. And when things like this are being constantly pushed to the masses on their advertising, whether you see on a YouTube ad, a social media ad, a TV ad, things like the sporting event, you're seeing, the Air Force planes flying through and the people getting pumped up as they're singing the national anthem. You got the president here saying, we will be, what he said at the end, we will be absolutely unstoppable, man. All right. But yet do they know their end is near? The end of Babylon is very near. All right. I had brought this out at last camp, right? And I'm going to do it again right here. No, matter of fact, let's do this. We'll do Empire. Right? What is the average lifespan of an empire? it reads, this is from the AI overview, it says the average lifespan of an empire is generally considered to be around 250 years. That is the average time span of empires throughout history. All right, 250 years. Now let's do this. How old is America? Let's see what it says. Right? It's from the AI overview again. It says the United States is considered to be 249 years old as of July 4th, 2025. So next year, July 4th, 2026, you know, Babylon is going to hit its 250 year mark. So showing you, right, Babylon is basically nearing the end of the average time span or the lifespan of a empire, a rulership, a kingdom. Okay, and we're already seeing all these things that's playing in part right now. All these, you know, wars, rumors of wars, and so forth, man. So there's a lot of tension being built right now, and Babylon is, you know, in other words, is on its last leg, man. All right, let's do this. Second Esdras 15:8. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, that's exactly what's going to happen to this place, man. All right, it's going to be, you know, full-blown anarchy, like I was mentioning a little bit earlier. Everything's going to be out of course, out of order. All right, straight chaos. All right, you know, your mighty men are going to be, you know, out here acting like, you know, women, man. You know, it's going to look like an apocalyptic movie, any apocalyptic movie you could think of, any and every apocalyptic movie, when the cities and the whole country and the people, the state of people is just completely through and finished, man. That is the future of Babylon, man. And it's coming very soon through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, because we already see, you know, what's going on right now. This is Isaiah the 13th chapter verse 19. It reads, "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." And we already know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, man. You know, the Lord rained fire and brimstone upon that place, man. All right, you know, they still speak of Sodom and Gomorrah to this day, man. All right, you know, there's still evidence, you know, in that land, you know, that scientists and archaeologists are still finding, man. You know, they're finding sulfur in the soil, you know, a sulfur that's so pure that they haven't found it nowhere else but in that land, man. All right, and the Lord is getting ready to unleash a judgment, a wrath upon Babylon, America, man. You know, so far worse than anything that has ever before been seen on the planet Earth, man. And that's about to be a reality in this place. It's Isaiah 34:2, and it reads, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter." All right, and the Lord is getting ready to really unleash his anger upon Babylon. All right, upon these heathen nations, upon the heathen, upon the 2/3 of our people, man. All right, it's gonna be like, you know, taking candy from a baby when the Lord cracks those clouds, man. When it really cranks up in this place, man. You know, it's gonna be like, you know, when Team USA, you know, goes to play basketball and they got all the star players, you know, playing against these, you know, D-League athletes from these other nations, man. Just completely dominating that whole sport. That's what it's about to be like, man. Lord's about to unleash a next level judgment and wrath and slaughter upon the planet Earth, especially upon Babylon, America, man. All right. Oh, I want to grab this too real quick, man. You know, because matter of fact, let me see. Let's do this real quick. See if we can pull that up. Right, perfect, right. This is a Russian military ad, right? You know, this was posted on NBC News last year. Oh, actually 2 years ago, it says. Right, it says Russian military encourages real men to step forward in recruitment ad. Let's run it through. And off the bat, you already see a difference, man. All right, compared to the Babylonian ad, man. The men on the military in the Babylonian ad look real feeble. All right, you know, and you already see this guy looks way bigger. Okay, you know. Right? Short and sweet. That's how they kept it, man. Right? You ain't see a single woman in their military. You saw just straight men. All right? No smiling, no laughing, no haha kiking compared to the Babylonian ad where you saw they were jogging and stuff. They were laughing and haha kiking. You're seeing women in their military doing all these shows and charades. They kept it short and simple, man. All right? That is, you know, the monster of these other nations, man. But the average Babylonian isn't seeing military ads, you know, from these other nations, man. Right? They're not seeing, you know, the true military power that these other nations have, man. They're so blinded by what they have only, man. All right? They're so blind to believe that what they have is it, man. There's nothing else needed. Okay? You know, any athlete, you know, you can use an example, right? If you're a basketball player, a football player, whatever the case may be, you know, you always watch film on your opponents, man. You know, say you got a game the next week against so-and-so school, you know, a so-and-so team, you're going to watch film. You're going to be like, okay, this is how they play. This their top athletes. You know, this is how, you know, he like to go to his left a lot, like to go to his right a lot. He got a strong dribble, got a strong crossover, strong layup, whatever the case may be. But these Babylonians don't see these type of things, man. They're so pumped up and blinded by their pride, man, to really believe that they're unstoppable. All right. And let me see. I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna close out, you know. And this is Isaiah 14:14, and it reads, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. Matter of fact, let me open this up. Isaiah 14:14. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the side of the pit. Right? And that is honestly the average mindset of these Babylonians, man. Right? They want to be like God. They want to be like the Most High. Right? That's why they do these acts of propaganda in their military videos. That's why they do the shows of force, like having the fighter jets fly over stadiums, man. Right? That's why you hear the president speak of things like, you know, absolutely unstoppable, you know, using terms as unrivaled, you know, unstoppable, man, because these people truly believe that they are God, right? They are trying to be like the Most High. When you see what they do with their, you know, their space forces, their NASA's, you know, their scientists, you know, their mad scientists creating those nuclear missiles, man, right? You know, what they're doing with their medical things, you know, their science and technology. They really believe that, you know, they are like the Most High. They're trying to play God, man. All right. But they're coming to a rude awakening, man. All right. And that pride is ultimately going to lead to their destruction because it has blinded them to truly believe that they are unstoppable. All right. But hey, you know, I'm going to wrap this lesson up. You know, Lord wanted to us edifying to the elect of Israel. With that being said, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh, the Ma'ans to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel. Peace, blessings, salutations to the full elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening to His truth with heart sincerity. Until next time, Shalom, and a ball, Kwame Yasharallah, Shalom.